Hello and welcome to my League 2 Game Week 45 predictions. We've got some big games in the relegation battle, the playoff battle as well, with Grimsby winning last night at Cambridge, as well as the automatic race for the top three, which pretty much any of the teams in the playoffs can get into the top three. So yeah, it is looking very, very interesting at the top of League 2, as well as Bromley and MK Dons continue to fight for that league title. So yeah, let's just jump straight to my Game Week 45 League 2 predictions. Jumping straight into tomorrow night's games then, as Salford City take on Bromley at the Peninsula. Bromley, I think, can win the league if MK Dons drop points at home to Tranmere and they win away at Salford. But going away to Salford is a very, very difficult ask. Good away win for Salford last time out over Oldham. Bromley did draw at home to Cambridge last Thursday night, of course, which secured them promotions. Bromley did beat Salford by 2-0 earlier in the season on the 22nd of November, and it went back out Salford. It was a 3-3 draw between the sides on the 4th of February. 3 wins for Salford, 1 draw, 1 win for Bromley on this occasion. First sit Bromley, fourth sit Salford. Salford scored 5 in the last 5, ranked third at home this season. Ibatterman has the most shots on target per match for Salford City with a 1.2 this season. 6 goals in the last 5 for Bromley. Mitch Pinnock is ranked first in big chances created in the competition with 21. Nick Kabamba has the most shots on target per match for Bromley with 1.4 as well. Difficult one to call. But I am actually going to back Salford City to win this by 2-1. I think Bromley might just stumble over the line. They might even lose the league title to MK Dons. So, yeah, I am going to back Salford City to win this by 2-1 over Bromley in this one. Next is the 12:30 kickoff in what is an absolutely massive game as Grimsby take on Swindon, two sides that are both in the playoff places and are at risk at dropping out as well if they don't book up their ideas. But then Swindon could also get into the top 3, so could Grimsby, and probably so could Chesterfield if all results go their way. 75.6 Swindon, 74.6 Grimsby. Grimsby with a massive win over Cambridge United last night. Only one loss in the last 5 for Grimsby, and that was away at Chesterfield last week. Grimsby scored 12 goals in the last 5 matches, absolutely flowing the goals in at the moment, averaging 1.6 goals per match as things stand. Charles Vernon's got the most shots on target per match. Grimsby 1.3. I feel like I've said that for every game week this season. Swindon scored 6 goals in their last 5 matches, haven't kept a clean sheet in 5 either. Aaron Drin is the competition's top scorer with 22. 2-2 draw early in the season, 4-0 away win for Swindon back at Grimsby on the 18th of April 2025. 4 wins for Grimsby, 2 draws, 7 wins for Swindon. This one's a difficult one to call. Every team has won a game at Blundell Park when they have played back at Grimsby. I am going to back Grimsby to win this one. I'm going to go for a 3-1 home Grimsby win. I think Swindon are in a bit of a free fall at the moment. So, yeah, I think Grimsby on the form that they are on, I think they could really rip into Swindon here. Maybe just make a late surge for those top 3. But, yeah, backing Grimsby to win by 3-1 over Swindon here. MK Dons versus Tranmere is up next in what is a pretty big game at the top and bottom, with MK Dons trying to chase down the title and Tranmere Rovers trying to stay in the division. They got a big 3-1 away win at Cheltenham last night, which could give them a big momentum boost for the, they're 4 points ahead of relegation. Win this or get a point here and they are safe pretty much for another season. I think MK Dons are up. I think they are, 3... No, they're not up yet, actually. The Salford still could catch them, but I think with a win here, MK Dons would get promoted back to League 1. 7 wins for MK Dons, 4 draws, 5 wins for Tranmere on the head-to-heads. 2-2 draw earlier this season between these two sides on the 22nd of November 2025. MK Dons 1, Tranmere 1, back on the 5th of October 2024 earlier in the season. Back last season, when MK Dons were still in League 2. Paul Woods did a brilliant job to get this team where it is. I know they've spent a lot of money, but they've been really underperforming of late with the chopping and changes of managers. So, yeah, they've done quite well. To be honest, MK Dons, they've got the right manager in Paul Warne now to probably take them up to League 1 and maybe the Championship. But then I think Paul Warne's limit stops there, doesn't it? Back-to-back wins for MK Dons over Crewe and Bromley, 6 goals in the last 5, 1.9 goals average per match for MK Dons. They haven't lost to Tranmere in their last 5 meetings in head-to-heads. Tranmere have scored 5 in their last 5, haven't kept a clean sheet in 7. Joe Murphy is ranked 3rd in saves per match in the competition with 3.2. I'm going to back an MK Dons win here. I'm going to go for a 2-0 routine MK Dons home win in this one over Tranmere. I think it'd be quite a comfortable win for them. So, back in MK Dons to win by 2 goals to 0 over Tranmere in this one. Now into the 3 o'clock kickoffs then, and we go to the WAM as Accrington take on Crawley. Accrington with a decent point over Swindon at the weekend. Nice 2-2 draw there. Crawley did draw in a 0-0 affair with Shrewsbury, still right in that relegation mix. Crawley Town, they need to find something to get out of this because they're heading to the National League as things stand. They had that new manager bounce, didn't they? Under Colin Kazim Richards, but it's kind of been normal service resumed after those couple of games. 16th at Accrington, 21st at Crawley. Accrington scored 6 goals in their last 5 matches. Sean Waller's created the most big chances for Accrington in the division with 15. Crawley scored 5 in their last 5. Dion Pereira has created the most big chances for Crawley with 11. That's probably about that for the stats. 1-1 draw between the sides earlier in the season at Crawley. Crawley did win this fixture last time in League 2, and that was what the season they got promoted with a 1-0 scoreline that day. 4 wins for Accrington, 3 draws, 5 wins for Crawley. I'm going to back a Crawley win in this one. I think they've got to win somewhere, and this is a big game for them, taking on an Accrington side. They've got absolutely nothing to play for now. So, I'm going to back Crawley to win this one. I'm going to go for a 1-0 away win for Crawley in this one at the WAM, and they've got to get the result if they are to try and stay in the division this season. Next up is Barnet versus Gillingham at the Hive. Then Barnet with an outside chance of the playoffs. They do sit 4 points behind Grimsby in 7th, but it is still doable. But even if they do win this weekend and all the other teams win around them, then they can't get in, I believe, unless Swindon might lose, so there is a chance for Barnet. They've got to win this game against Gillingham, though, otherwise it is curtains for their season. Back-to-back losses for Gillingham, though. Away at Cheltenham and home to Grimsby. 9th sit Barnet in the table. 18th sit Gillingham. Barnet with some very, very good wins. 5-2 win over Fleetwood. 3-2 win over Barrow. 2-1 win over Notts County in there as well. Barnet have scored 13 goals in their last 5 matches. Haven't lost in 7 either. Idris Kano, who's created the most big chances for Barnet this season with 13. Gillingham have scored 6 in their last 5. Have been awarded the most penalties this season with 12. Armani Little has created the most big chances for Gillingham this season with 10. 1-1 draw between the sides on the 22nd of November 2025. Last time to play at Barnet was all the way back in September 2012. 3-1 away win for Gillingham that day. Barnet 3 wins, 2 draws, 3 wins for Gillingham. Gillingham have a pretty good record at Barnet, actually, of recent past. Are they going to cause more problems for them? We'll have to wait and find out. I'm going to back a Barnet win in this one. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Barnet home win. I think they will get over the line against this poor Gillingham side, but then you never know in League 2. This could be a draw, it could be a Gillingham win with the head-to-head starting to favour Gillingham. But I'm backing Barnet to win this 2-0. I think they'll be having quite a comfortable win in this one. Bristol Rovers versus Cheltenham next at the Memorial. Then Bristol Rovers still on that flying form under Steve Evans, on to 58 points now. I mean, if Steve Evans was appointed a little bit soon, they could have been on a playoff charge. Cheltenham did lose it to Tranmere. Disappointing defeat for them, really, if you look at all things considered. 11 goals in the last 5 for Steve Evans' Bristol Rovers. Have won their last 7 matches, haven't lost in 7. Have scored 9 goals in the last 5 of Cheltenham. Joe Day is ranked 1st in saves per match in the competition with 3.3 this season. Josh Martin has the most shots on target per match for Cheltenham this season with 1.2. 1-0 win for Cheltenham early in the season. Back on the 22nd of November 2025, last time to play at Bristol Rovers was all the way back in League 1 in 2023. It was a 1-1 draw that day. 9 wins for Bristol Rovers, 3 draws, 4 wins for Cheltenham. I'm going to back a Bristol Rovers win. They've been looking really, really good of late. I'm going to go for a 3-0 home Bristol Rovers win. I know that may come a bit of a surprise in the scoreline wise, but they've been playing brilliantly lately under Steve Evans. I think that's going to continue here. I'm going to go Bristol Rovers 3, Cheltenham 0. And now into another huge game at the top and at bottom as Cambridge take on Barrow. Cambridge will be looking to respond from that 2-1 defeat to Grimsby in that one. Barrow did lose at home to Walsall. 3-1 at the weekend. Barrow sit 23rd in the table, 2 points off safety, I believe. No, a point off Newport, sorry, and a point off safety. Yeah, Cambridge only 1 win in the last 5, kind of dropped off the board. They'll be just trying to plough over the finish line as things stand, only a point ahead of Salford City, who also play Bromley tomorrow night, so that should be interesting, and the pressure will be on Cambridge if Salford do win that. 2-0 win for Cambridge over Barrow on the 22nd of November early in the season. 8 wins for Cambridge, 1 draw, 0 wins for Barrow. Cambridge will be looking to win this last Sunday play at Cambridge. It was a 1-1 draw back in November 2020 in League 2. Cambridge should be looking to win this. I think it might be curtains if Barrow do lose this game, unfortunately for them, but then they could make sure, well, they got to hope that Newport lose or whatever goes on and take it to the final day. Barrow just got to do their thing here and try and get a result at Cambridge. I don't think they're going to get it. I'm actually going to back a 2-1 Cambridge home win. I think this will be a close game, but I think Cambridge just get the line in at this one over Barrow here. And yeah, I think Cambridge just to win this by 2. Goes 1 over Barrow here. Chesterfield versus Crewe is up next then, and Chesterfield still very much within a playoff chance. Crewe less so, or Crewe definitely can't get in with 66 points. Sat in 10th place at the moment. Back-to-back losses over Grimsby and MK Dons for them has definitely killed their playoff chances for the season. Chesterfield unbeaten in the last 5 games, 3 wins out of the last 5, 2 draws in the last 3 though. Disappointing point away at Fleetwood at the weekend. Head-to-heads look like this 3-3 draw between the sides earlier in the season back at Crewe, and then Chesterfield. Crewe did beat Chesterfield by 3 goals on the 1st of March. Always seems to be a thrashing between these sides. It either goes one way or the other, to Crewe or to Chesterfield. We don't know what's going to happen here. 5 wins for Chesterfield, 3 draws, 5 wins for Crewe. Chesterfield scored 6 in their last 5, conceding the most penalties this season with 9 as well. Haven't lost in 6 though. Crewe have scored 6 in their last 5. Emery Tesgell has created the most shots on target per match for Crewe this season with 1.1, and Tommy O'Reilly is ranked 3rd. Big chances created this season with 16. Chesterfield are at home. You would fancy them to win this, but then the pressure can get to you, can't it, in this division? I'm going to back a Chesterfield home win in this one. First win at home since 2016 over Crewe is what I'm backing them to get here. They could be scrappy and tight. I'm only going to go for a 1-0 narrow Chesterfield win in this one, but I think they will just get over the line in this one. So yeah, backing a 1-0 home Chesterfield win over Crewe in this one. Colchester versus Notts County is up next then at the JobServe Community Stadium. Colchester, disappointing defeat for them over Harrogate last time out, but then Harrogate are fighting for their lives and they've got nothing really to play for now. Colchester, back-to-back losses for Notts County over Cambridge and Barnet, kind of stopped their automatic chances, but this has allowed the likes of Grimsby and Chesterfield to close in on them with the poor form of these 3 clubs recently, bar Salford, I think, who have just been plodding away. I know they lost a Crewe in there as well, but yeah, these sides have been really dropping off the boil, including Swindon too, probably in that category too. 3-1 win for Colchester early in the season over Notts County on the 22nd of November. A very, very good win for Colchester, that one. Back at Colchester in League 2 last season was a 1-0 home win for Colchester there. 6 wins for Colchester, 3 draws, 12 wins for Notts County. Difficult again to call. 5 wins, yes, we know that. Yeah, this game's always been quite bonkers. 5-4 in 2023 for Colchester, 3-3 in January 2019. If I was a betting man, I would probably go for Colchester in this one, despite Notts County's table position. They are struggling at the moment, but I'm actually going to sit on the fence here. I'm going back a decimal. I'm going back a 2-2 draw between Colchester and Notts County in this one. I think it'll be tight and cagey, but I think there'll be a lot of goals, as there always is between these sides. That's why I'm back at a 2-2 draw. Newport Oldham next at Rodney Parade, and Rodney Parade needs to be absolutely bouncing for this one if they need to get a result. Well, they do need to get a result. They need to make sure they just stay above that drop zone in 22nd place at the moment. Newport did lose away at Cheltenham by a 1-0, but that was okay because it kept them out of the drop zone just about. 3 losses on the trot for Oldham, kind of wrecking their playoff chances this season now, which, yeah, who did they lose to? Shrewsbury, Barrow and Salford. I mean, 2 of those sides you could have beat. 3-0 win for Oldham over Newport on the 22nd of November. Quite routine win for Mickey Mellon's side there. Last time they played at Newport was a 3-3 draw back in League Two. They have played in the FA Cup since it was 2-0 home. Newport win that day as well. 4 wins for Newport, 1 draw, 5 wins for Oldham. Newport need to win this. Oldham will be looking at 4 straight defeats if they do lose this one. 4 goals in the last 5 matches. Bobby Campbell has created most big chances for Newport this season. He's been brilliant for Newport in a shit season for them, really. Opoku has created the most shots on target per match for Newport this season with 0.8. Oldham scored 7 in the last 5, kept the most clean sheets of the competition with 18. They haven't kept a clean sheet in 6 matches. I'm actually going back Newport to win this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 home Newport County win. Need the win. They'll get the win and they might just confirm their status in League Two for another year, depending on what other teams do around them this weekend. Now into Shrewsbury versus Fleetwood at the Crown Meadow. Shrewsbury drawing last time out at Crawley, of course, Chesterfield, and Fleetwood playing out a 1-1 draw. Fleetwood are beaten in the last 2 games at the moment. Fleetwood sit 40th, Shrewsbury sit 90th. 3 goals in the last 5 for Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury and Fleetwood have not drawn any of the last 5 matches against each other. 0-0 incoming, guys. 6 goals in the last 5 matches. Haven't kept a clean sheet in 5 either. Ched Evans has created the most big chances for Fleetwood this season with 11. 3-1 win for Fleetwood over Shrewsbury, 22nd of November 2025. 6 wins for Shrewsbury, 6 draws, 10 wins for Fleetwood. Fleetwood, did win this fixture early in the season, and then back at Shrewsbury in League One in 2024 was a 3-1 home win for Shrewsbury that day. 2 wins for Shrewsbury at the Crown Meadow, 4 draws, 4 wins for Fleetwood at the Crown Meadow. Fleetwood have had a pretty good record here if you're looking at things. Shrewsbury did win it last time though. Difficult one again. I think I'm narrowly backing a draw. I'm actually going to sit on the fence here. I'll go for a 0-0 ball draw in this one between Shrewsbury and Fleetwood, as both got nothing to play for and a bit of a dead rubber now. And the final game is Walsall versus Harrogate. A big game for Harrogate Town. This one, if they are to try and stay up in the division. Did beat Colchester last time out. And big 3 points there. They'll be looking to try and stay up ahead of Newport. Walsall did beat Barrow on the other side as well last week. 3-1 winners there, and their playoff chances are all but gone. Well, they are gone, Walsall. They were gone a few weeks back, I think. 2-0 win for Walsall over Harrogate on the 22nd of November 2025. Earlier in the season, last time they played at Walsall was a 2-2 draw between the sides. Harrogate do have a pretty good record at Walsall. Only lost there in 2022 on the 25th of October. That's their only loss at Harrogate. Harrogate have a pretty good record here. Are they going to use it to fruition? We'll have to wait and find out. Harrogate should win this really with their record at Walsall, but then the points is stopping them really from, well, you never know. They're fighting for their lives. Anything can happen, basically. They do sit bottom of the table. Remember, 7 goals in the last 5 for Walsall. Haven't kept a clean sheet in 6 either. Daniel Carney has the most shots on target per match for Walsall with 1.3. 7 goals in the last 5 for Harrogate. Reece Smith has created the most big chances for Harrogate, star player for them this season, as well as Jack Walden, who has the most shots on target per match with Harrogate with 0.8, I should say. I'm going to back Harrogate to win this. Could go for a 1-0 away. Harrogate need the win. Also got nothing to play for, so they may as well just go for it and get all 3 points. So that's what I'm backing Harrogate Town to do here in this one. Thank you very much for watching my League 2 Game Week 45 predictions. If you did like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. And I'll speak to you on the next one, which will be League 1 predictions later on today. So don't forget to stay tuned for that as well. Some big games there too. So thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you on the next one.